Good evening. Welcome to the Acker Show. I'm Paul. We got Lee here with us again tonight. Going to be talking about mental health, forced adoption. Obviously, we spoke to Lee last week. As we finished the live, he said to me, "You didn't ask difficult questions." So I pretty much said to him, I said, well, how are you feeling? So basically, how did you feel?
It was like a big weight that just been lifted off my shoulders. I was probably buzzing.
Like, because obviously, like where you thought, like I didn't ask too many questions, going too deep into it. Like I said to you tonight that there's a reason for it, and because it was the first time you were speaking out.
Yeah.
Like how, how you were feeling at the time, like you were bouncing, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
So so like obviously for myself, that was the reason why I didn't do it, because there's nothing worse than speaking out for the first time ever, and then someone's thrown you right in the shit,
Yeah.
and the deep end, and then because like obviously all you're gonna do then is just have flashbacks.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be in a shit place, like, you know.
Yeah. So, well, just coming back from a shit place. For the past good 2 months, I think I've ignored a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Taking it easy on me.
Yeah. No. Well, the thing is, like you said, what was it? About 3 months, 4 months you went through bad fucking patch, didn't you?
Yeah. I totally ignored my phone. All my mates around me, yourself and others as well. It was just ignoring everyone. I just didn't have the motivation to speak to anyone, and I was just in my self-destruct bubble.
Yeah. So like, we if we touch on the last time then, as we're talking about it, so like, why do you think that, like, when you're in self-destruct mode, why do you think you like ignore people, especially like the close ones to you?
For me, I'd say I don't want to seem as a burden to people. I know they say a problem shared is a problem halved, but I've been so long dealing with it on my own.
Yeah.
And it's what I'm used to. So now I've got great friends around me, great support around me. It's just trying to get used to reaching out to people when I feel shitty, when I feel like the end is the end, so to speak, and I just will go down and down and down.
It's breaking them chains, really, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've just got to condition myself now to realise I've got a great support network around me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got great friends around me now who's there for me through good times, bad times.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like myself, I'm here 24/7.
Exactly.
You know that. Like you've got Jason, you've got Terry.
Yeah, there's Pete as well.
Pete, yeah, you've got Pete. But so I mean, there's loads of us. But
yeah.
I like, because I go there myself. I really understand, like, doing like how hard it is. Like you say, you don't want to be a burden. You don't want to put the pressure on other people, because like obviously everyone's going through something.
Exactly.
So and I get that. But at the end of the day, like, I'd rather be helping you out than help myself out.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Other people, I give them advice. I'm there for them. But when it comes to me, it's like just I want to be left alone on my own, and that's it.
Yeah. So like this time around, then, like, what gave you the motivation to snap out of it? Like,
honestly, that would be from you telling you a story.
Yeah.
You heard I've been tougher time he went through. And I thought, well, if he's brave enough to come out and tell his story, amongst others as well, I thought it was time I put my story out there. I thought it was time to help myself to get away from this negative feeling,
Yeah,
and start being happy again.
no, absolutely. Like the negative side of it all is a big fucking burden, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But there's like for myself, like I find, even though the negative is so fucking big, you always can find a positive
Yeah.
in amongst it. Like, and it depends on how you want to find it and how quick you want to find it, whether it goes to like how long it takes you, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, my positives, just going out on demos, raising awareness for different causes, forced adoption, child abuse. We do the veteran stuff as well. Jason was the one that brought me into it, so I've got a lot of time for Jason. Also, I met yourself along the way.
Yeah, we've got some banter across the way.
Oh, exactly. But yeah, so as soon as lockdown hit, obviously the demos and the awareness days that we were doing stopped, and it was like, fuck, what do I do now? It was like in my head, I had nothing to work for.
Yeah.
So the positives that I was clinging on to disappeared. So, like I say, even though I had my support network around me, it was more the fact of going out on the streets, engaging with people,
feeling like you was living for something, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Giving something back, because I've done a lot of wrong in my time. Stuff I'm not proud of. So for me, it was doing something good, and I was giving something back, and that's something then hopefully will carry on into the next generation and the generation after that.
Yeah, but like hopefully, what we're striving for, we can deal with ourselves and give them a better life when we're not here, innit?
Exactly.
But like obviously, I don't think any of us are stupid. Like I've been fighting it for fucking since I was 16.
Yeah.
I'm fucking 36 now in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, so like another 20 years, not going to fucking kill me.
Yeah.
But it's something that we got to do, innit?
Exactly. That was something we've got to keep fighting for, and it's time for everyone to come together now and just take away all the negative from different groups and just all come together and unite and stand for the same thing.
Yeah, because like you mentioned the pandemic. So like at the start of the pandemic, I messaged a couple of the Cardiff lads, you know, and I said to them, I said the problem with this pandemic is you can have people that's like mentally unstable, locked in their houses, feeding their fucking own. And it's going to do more damage.
We were talking ourselves about that.
Yeah. And it does. It's came true. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you've only got to look through the football side of it or the veteran side of it. Yeah. Like, how many people have committed suicide? This is unreal, like, you know?
Suicide rates have skyrocketed. And nothing's being done about it. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's sad because at the end of the day, if you've got Joe Bloggs on the fucking streets that can see what is about to fucking happen, someone that gets paid fucking 50 grand, 100 fucking grand should be able to fucking see it as well, like, you know?
Exactly.
So in my eyes, was the pandemic the right fucking way to go around things? If it was, then why wasn't there anything in fucking place for these people like yourself?
Nothing's been put in place.
No.
For people suffering with mental health, vulnerable children, vulnerable adults. So all that was forgotten about. Also, all services were just non-existent.
Yeah. No. And it was sad to see, like, do you mean?
Absolutely.
And I think this is like where you had so much that arguing and bickering amongst like even fucking friends at the start, because so many people just thought, oh, happy days are a fucking holiday to me.
Yeah.
And then the ones that like go through the mental side of stuff were the ones like there was trying to raise awareness then to, but this is going to be fucking happening if you like it or fucking not. Yeah. What the fuck, like, you know?
I think I started struggling. I think it was in the first 2 weeks of the lockdown.
Yeah,
that's when I had my first bit of a wobble. I think that lasted for about a month. I think you say that about a month. I think it was.
Like you could see a difference in you the first couple of weeks.
Yeah,
and then it was just after the first month when it.
Yeah,
you went really downhill. Then none of us could contact you or anything like that. But yeah, no. But so you contacted me. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, no, it was Monday or Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You said, oh, like obviously cheers for doing the live. When we doing the next one, which I was quite surprised at, because I thought you were gonna have like a couple of weeks to process what you just done over that weekend, like, you know.
Yeah, it's my thought process behind it was I got the first one done. If I leave it too long, then I'm going to start making excuses again not to do it. Because I think we mentioned it on the first one that I'd made excuses. There was always something for me not to do it.
Been a few times like that.
Yeah. So I thought if I'd just get the second one done now, before the doubts start coming and the excuses.
That's it. Like obviously from the first one, you was nice and bubbly straight afterwards, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
You could see like you weren't holding so much on your shoulders. So like to get that message then, it was even nicer because it was like he really wants to help himself. But obviously, in helping yourself, you're helping others. Because like there was a few people that contacted you after the live, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I had a couple of people told their stories. Obviously, won't go into that. No. But it was nice, and made me realise, no, I'm doing something right. Yeah. I'm doing something right for myself and for other people. So it was a nice feeling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is what I say about the lives, like, do you mean is even though that they're so hard to fucking do or like motivate yourself to do, once you do it, like you feel all that stress from yourself releasing. So you've helped yourself. But then when you start getting people contacting you and saying, fucking hell, fair fucking play, you just gave me the strength to say my story, if it's on a live or just personally, you've helped someone else, like, you know, you've given someone else the strength to come fucking forward.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, folks. I mean, it's about communicating. I think we're so conditioned over the years not to speak out, not to reach out to anyone. And like we just sit there and we just think, well, I can't speak about this, I can't speak about that. This person ain't gonna understand this, that person ain't gonna understand that. And then before you know it, you just gone into like a fucking herd.
But what I think what we've got to realise is it's not that we can't speak about it. It's hard to speak about it.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference.
Yeah.
If you can find ways to make it easier, make it a bit more comfortable, whether it be listening to other stories, reading other stories, or what. It just gets it does get easier, and you will find the strength. So I did myself.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, like you said, every time you speak, you'll say a little bit more because like you said, it does get easier.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I've been saying my story fucking hell since I was 25. I started off a tiny little bit, and I think I've been abused, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't go into details or fuck all. Now, even though I'd go into details, I still haven't told my whole fucking story. But every time I say it, it's that little bit fucking more.
Yeah.
And this, so like, and this is what people's got to understand. You know, is like we're all fighting the same thing, mentally, physically, and we're all here for each other. But even though our stories are all different,
the end result is the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's mental health.
Yeah, no, that's it. So yeah, so we'll start going, try and get as deep as we can.
Yeah, that's
but like obviously, we'll try and see how it goes with you.
Yeah,
and to go how far we go deep, like you know. So obviously, we're going to start off with you was down in Hampshire.
Yeah, well, no, I was down in Devon.
Sorry, Devon.
Yeah, so I'd taken a job down there in a slaughterhouse doing security, and I was happy down there. I had my own flat, and it was great. Yeah, I was working 6-7 days a week. Not much of a life, but yeah. Well, it's what I'm used to as well. I just throw myself into work to hide my mental health.
Yeah.
So I was still doing that, but instead of working all over the country, sleeping in the car, I had my own place. Work was a couple of miles away. So yeah, I was happy. I was getting on with my life, and then social services rang me. So back then, I didn't answer numbers I didn't recognise or withheld numbers. I still don't actually. So I had a message from MLO, and if people have read my story, they will recognise that name. She said she was from Hampshire Social Services. Did I know Miss X? And did I father a child with her? So I rang the number, spoke to her, and the understanding I had was that my daughter was going to come to me. So I think it was about 2 days later, possibly 3 days later, Miss X rings me, withheld number, and don't know what it was. I knew it was her ringing me, so I answered it. We got to talking. We decided to get back together and fight it as a family, as mum and dad. But as soon as social services knew that we were back together, their whole demeanour changed towards me.
Yeah.
They had me banned from contact centre the first time I ever went there for just turning up.
There's no other reason.
No. The reason they gave was because no appointment was made. I wasn't abusive, I wasn't aggressive, nice and calm. I just walked away. But after that, MLO had said that she made an appointment with me and I failed to turn up, which was
same bullshit. Yeah. Cold home.
Yeah. So I told my solicitor, I said, no, I said, we'd arranged a meeting, I said, for after the court date. After the on the same day as the court, but after it finished.
Yeah.
She refused. Her comment was then, "Oh, must be miscommunication." Well, no, it wasn't miscommunication. It's just you're a lying bitch.
I bet you called it that as well, didn't you?
Funnily enough, on the final court case, I was so angry. I waited in the waiting area for her to leave, and I was going to batter her. I looked her in the face and I said, "You're an evil cunt," and never hit a woman. I never will hit a woman, but I was just that angry, and I looked seeing the smug face that she had. I just wanted to cave her skull, and basically, I know it's the wrong thing to say, but it's how I felt. Luckily now, she must have snuck out a back door somewhere. So yeah, it's after that, after the final court case, I think I touched upon it on the first live. I asked my barrister if I hadn't got back with Miss X, would have had a chance of my own?
Yeah.
And the answer was no. I never had a chance. So I was.
Have they ever answered why?
No.
Never gave up.
Never said why. My barrister, she broke down in tears, and I said to her, I said, "Well, why did they get me involved?" So I'm glad they did. Because I got to meet my daughter for a few times. But on the flip side, I would have rather have been just left alone and not brought into it.
So now it comes across to me like they contacted you and like tried making peace between you and Miss X to have the child away.
I honestly believe, and family members have told me this when I said I was going to fight for my daughter. After it was all over, they said she was marked from before she was born by social services.
Right.
And I honestly believe that.
So obviously they were blaming you, not Miss X.
It was joint blame, but why they were first brought in, Miss X fled an abusive relationship. So I can't go into that. Obviously, I've not spoke to her for a number of years now, so it'd be a little bit unfair.
Yeah.
And instead of helping her, they ridiculed her and done everything they could to see her fail. Now, I seen the reports from social services, and if I had seen them without seeing her as a mother, I would have said, "Fucking hell, you deserve to have your kids taken off you." But a lot of it was bullshit, and I said to my solicitor, I even said social services, if I hadn't seen Miss X as a mother, then I would have believed it. But I've seen her as a mother, and she was a fucking great mother. And together, yeah, we could have been great parents. But obviously, I think social services had a price on her head before she was born.
Yeah, no, that's what it sounds like. So like, well, without going too deep into your past, because like obviously, like we touched on it the last life. You want to write a book, so you don't really want to go into that side of it too much. But for them to blame you, there must have been something happening in your past.
Oh yes,
that sent the red flag up. Like,
yeah, I think we touched upon my birth mum fucked off with the social worker when there was a court case going on. My birth dad didn't want me. So my grandmother and my dad had joint custody. Not that he ever bothered. They tried using that against me, saying that I've never had a stable upbringing from a child. Oh, excuse me, which is which is bullshit, because I was brought up by my grandmother and my mum, who biologically is my aunt, but to me she's my mum. And I had the best childhood anyone could ever ask for.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like obviously, knowing your mum, and your nan, doing like they do as much as possible for you, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. I've put my gran through some shit over the years with my mental health, and she's always been there to this day. The past 2 years, I think, has been pretty tough on her. With my mental health,
Yeah.
Because she's seen what I used to be like to what I am now. It's a totally different person. But in all fairness, she's stood by me. She's always given me advice, and yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I don't always talk to her. Obviously, I do find it hard to talk, but
I think because your grand's got like health problems, isn't she? So
oh yeah, she's suffering from a broken back. That happened 6-7 years ago, so she's still struggling with that. She's probably going to kill me for this, but she's 81 years old now. Sorry, Ma.
But yeah, no, but like when you speak about them, and like obviously they're the ones that brought you up from a young age. So then, like I just can't get my head around how social services can use your biological fucking parents
Exactly.
and their fuck ups for this is how you're going to turn around.
It's just a lame excuse
Yeah.
to put in their favour.
Definitely. Like, I mean, like obviously I've said on a few lives of when I went to psychiatrists, what they turned around and said to me, which I think if they never said that to me, when you like speak to people that's going through forced adoption, I'd most likely be one of them people, do you know what I mean, that saying, go, well, you're full of fucking shit, you obviously done something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like, because of what they've said, like, it's made me fucking realise, well, hang on a minute, if I didn't do what I done afterwards,
Yeah.
they would have took my fucking kids. Yeah, and it's crazy the games that they fucking play.
Do you know, before my daughter was forcefully adopted, I never knew anything about it. Didn't know what was going on. So it was a big wake up call for me on a lot of different spectrums. Not only did I go through it, but it made me think, and well, who else has gone through it?
Yeah, and that's it. Like, do you mean like I got a fucking neighbour, and like she's got 6 fucking kids, and like they've all been taken away from her, and she deserves it. Do you mean? And
Yeah.
but like, and it makes me fucking sad that when the social services play fucking games like this, that fucking it gives the people that deserve fucking their kids taken off them that bit of leeway so they can give it all fucking this and fucking that towards fucking people.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong, there are people out there who deserve to have their children taken off them. Yeah. And that's been proven in many of cases. But I'd say the majority are forced adoptions.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, like a lot of people that I spoke to, I mean, that's going through it, like, and the stories all match up of how they work, how they use something against you that's happened in your fucking past, if it's towards you or the way that your parents was, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, so I had to go through drug testing as well. Got a bit of hair taken from the back of my head. That was embarrassing. being sat in an office room, having a bit of your hair shaven off for drug testing.
Yeah.
And then when that came back clear, they wanted to take fingernail samples because they thought I was on heroin, which is I have done drugs. I have turned to drugs in the past. Don't get me wrong, but not once have I ever touched heroin, and my solicitor put a stop to that. So I've got to say fair play to my solicitor on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, even going back to tell my childhood to my solicitor, I just broke down in tears. And the whole 4 hours we were there talking, and she was taking notes, I was just fled to tears. I was like, it was terrible. And then I had to go back to work then for a couple of hours. And even in work, I was just in floods of tears, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, I'm doing security, and I'm just fucking just sat here in floods of fucking tears. And I was thinking, what are they doing to me? But
and the thing is, like, it comes across to me. Well, not that it comes across to me, but it is a way of fucking abuse.
Absolutely. Actually, it's an abuse of power on their behalf, and they put a price on a child's head. What was it 300 grand?
Yeah.
What's that, a year or altogether?
I can't remember the statistics altogether. Yeah. But like everything that they get off the top of the child's head is is pennies what they spend out of it.
Exactly.
During like also we all know, like even if they go into care, the care fucking providers at the moment are mainly no, it's not the council run nowadays. I can't think of the fucking word.
You get a lot of private run.
Yeah, private this one. So like, but like even then, they're not fucking paid fucking mega fucking money compared to what the councils are paying.
Even the private run foster carers, they don't get checked. There's no checks for them. I know a couple of stories where children have gone to private carers and they've been abused in that surrounding where that person had the foster child taken off her and her own children taken off her.
Yeah, Christ. Yeah, like we stuck up for Neil McAvoy in February, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he was contacted by parents down in Swansea because their child was being abused in a care home, but they worked the system to themselves, didn't they?
Yeah,
so like,
absolutely.
Even though the manager was on the phone to Neil in the office on their own, they all stuck together, made out that there was at least 3 people in that office. And then the more that they spoke to the fucking workers, you realised that she was there on her fucking Todd. There was actually no one fucking there.
Yeah.
And this is the fucking problem you've got. they all think that because they're working together, they've all got to stick together. And it's like, fit for myself, it's completely fucking outrageous. Yeah. And half of them are fucking parents themselves.
Exactly.
So like they've got to put themselves in the parents' shoes and think, well, if that was my child, would I want someone fucking covering it up?
Yeah.
And the thing is, that made me fucking more gobsmacked by it was 3 of the workers had fucking pay fucking grades and fucking climbed the fucking ladder while everything was being fucking dealt with. And it's like, holy fuck. Do you know what I mean? But it obviously that they had the pay rises and the job fucking like when you go up the ladder, like but that was obviously here you are, fucking you say this, or
I'm going to promote you sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the word, promote. But yeah, no, but it just mind boggles me. Do you mean I just can't get my fucking head around it?
It just blew my mind wide open after the final court case. It was like, well, it took me a while to get to grips with what happened. I'm still getting to grips with what happened. I've still got trigger points. But yeah, after it happened, me and Miss X split up. Not long after, I ended up living in my car for 6 months, I think it was. That was hard.
I bet you got used to it after that long, did you?
I can sleep in my car better than I can't sleep in the bed. I can't sleep in the bed, but I can sleep in my car. It's crazy.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. After we'd split up, we got questions, did we?
Yeah, Brian Clare didn't do the. Didn't Neil do the? Yes, he did. After we all stuck up for Neil. We put a demo on for Neil. Neil was all up for coming, speaking about obviously his case.
The one in Cardiff, was it?
Yeah. So obviously, I think it was like a couple of days after we announced we were going to hold a demo, Neil contacted myself and said, I need a meeting with you. So I went and met him, and basically he's obviously talked to someone, and this person had said to him, be careful, Paul's jumping on the bandwagon with you, for the simple fact of he's fucking far right, and they're trying to make out that they're doing the good by the children. So I turned around to Neil and I was like, mate, I said, other than the day, even though you speak more fucking Welsh than I fucking do, we all know that you're not just fucking Welsh. You have got a foreign body in you as well, like, you know, and it ended up like Neil's half Muslim. So I started laughing. I said, mate, I said, well, if I was far right, would I actually be sticking up for you? He was still on board with it. And then I think what was it, about a week? No, it wasn't even a week, was it? I think it was a couple of days before the demo was going to go ahead then.
3 days, I think it was.
Yeah. He contacted us again and he said, look, I'm really sorry, but I cannot do this demo for the simple fact of I can't be seen with fucking fucking right people. So obviously I got my knickers in a fucking twist and I said, Neil, I'm not being funny, mate, but you're standing there, you're going into the Senedd, you're arguing the toss that they're not speaking the fucking truth, but then once they're telling you something about some Joe fucking blogs on the fucking street that's doing what you are about to fucking do, you believe in them. Like, how is that fucking possible? But yeah, so we did tend to fucking we done the demo and it went really well.
It went really well, yeah.
We did slag Neil off, which may be right or fucking wrong. But at the time, like, we felt it was right for the simple fact of he portrayed himself to be a normal fucking politician, giving it fucking large about one fucking cause, and then turned his fucking back on it, basically.
Funny enough, I think that was the first time I was meant to be speaking, wasn't it? Was in that Cardiff.
Yeah.
I was going to tell a bit about my story.
No.
But I think my anxiety kicked in and I couldn't stop throwing up.
Yeah, you gave me the speech then, didn't you?
Yeah, I handed it over to you.
Yeah.
And I think from that point is where we had that strong bond from was from that point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, it was building it anyway before that.
Yeah.
I think that was the final nail on it. But yeah, like, at the end of the day, like, when it comes to politicians, like, to me, they're only after fucking votes.
They only stand by something if it's if they stand to gain political gain.
Of course it is.
I think that's the right word to say.
Yeah, because like, obviously Neil's biggest fuck up was he did turn around to myself and Phil and say that he wants First Minister in fucking Wales. So once that slipped out, it was obvious that he's going around giving a damn about all these things. Because like he's not just putting his hands in the pocket for children at the moment. He's putting his hands in quite about 100 fucking things, and is absolutely mental. But like the way I can only explain it is like, say if there's 100 people in a pocket, he's going into it. If he can pull fucking one person out of 100 fucking pockets, that's 100 extra fucking votes he can gather. I think that's the only way really you can explain how they fucking work. Sure. Takes a great person to speak up.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
But Brian Taylor, he lives up in Sunderland.
Yeah,
he's a top man. He's been doing this for years as well. If I get it right, Brian, you was down in Wales in the early 80s. But yeah, so
we'll touch on some trigger points, is it?
Yeah,
we'll go through some trigger points.
Yeah, that'll be good. It'd be good for people to see how trigger points work. Like
for me, my main trigger points is I'll stay away from like kids' clothing, baby aisles. Yeah, just hate going down them aisles. Brings everything back. Get a little bit of a sweat on them when I top in. Even down to seeing families out and about in the street. I just get annoyed by it. Not that they've done anything wrong to me.
It's just they got something that you haven't got that you could have. Like
exactly. That makes me think, and you know, why not me? What's wrong with me? Which I've learned is there's nothing wrong with me. Apart from the aftermath of all the bullshit. So yeah, just seeing like happy families out and about, the clothes aisles, the baby aisles, all that. I find it really hard to go down that way. It just brings it all back.
Yeah, exactly. What you're missing out on, like.
Exactly. It's like what could have been, but the other way I look at it is if that hadn't have happened, then I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be fighting for what I'm fighting for today.
Yeah.
So
and this is it, like, you know, Trina, like we were saying about negatives and turn them into positives. Like mostly something like that, you think you'd never be able to pull fucking positive out of it, but if you can look into yourself and get that positive, then at least it gives you some type of fucking drive, doesn't it?
Exactly. This is what it's done. Obviously, I've joined up with ACA. Other groups as well in the past, and yeah, just give me that fire in my belly and the kick up the arse that I should have done on my own. But obviously, being involved in doing all this now, it's given me that drive, and it makes me forget of, well, not so much forget, but
keeps you on a level.
It keeps me on a level because I know what I'm fighting for is the right thing, and hopefully I can at least change one person's life. Yeah, so it just gives me the drive, and it gives me the passion and
that's it. Like I'm talking about passion, like passion is major in it, but it can come across in different fucking ways to people.
Yeah.
Like people say to me, fucking hell, you get too angry. I'm not fucking angry. That's just my fucking passion.
I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about what I'm doing, what I'm fighting for.
Yeah, no, and that's it. Like, but survivors in anything can relate to each other more than just Joe Blogs has got a big fuck off 6 foot fucking deep bubble on them, innit?
Yeah, yeah.
So like, because like obviously you've told a few of the lads that's close to you, like your story and stuff like that. Like, do you see a difference in telling lads to like a survivor and like telling just someone that's never gone through anything?
Oh, it's absolutely. That's not taken away from anyone who's not been through any hardship or any non-survivors of any sort of abuse or anything. But when you're talking to someone who can relate to you, it's just that bond, and you know, they take everything in, and well, they can relate to you.
Yeah, no, and it makes a more of a difference than it on a personal level. Like.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because you know, you can go to said person, like yourself, for instance, and I can go to you and say, look, Paul, I'm feeling this way, that way, or the other.
Yeah.
And I know that you can understand on a level, even though our stories are different.
Yeah.
The aftermath is the same.
Of course it is. Yeah. I think it's and this is what I keep on saying to yourself, to everyone. I mean, it doesn't matter what your story is, or how even abuse. Yeah, because there's so many types of abuse. People think, oh, he was sexually abused. I was only mentally abused, or I was only physically abused. He won't understand. No, I might not understand your story to a degree, but I do understand where you've gone from to where you are now. Like.
Yeah, absolutely, because like we said many times, the outcome is always the same. It's mental health.
Of course it is.
It's just probably the biggest silent killer in the world today.
Yeah, because it never leaves you, does it?
No, it'll always stay with you, but
it's how you control it.
Yeah, it's how you control it. It's how you learn to deal with it as well. I think I touched upon it in the previous live. I dealt with it by throwing myself into work. So I'd work all hours under the sun. I'd spend more time up and down the country than what I would at my own home, sleeping in the car.
You've done a bit of fishing as well, didn't you?
Yeah, fishing. Fishing in the early days was my saviour. Helped me a lot. Just for that 3, 4, 5 hours fishing, everything in the real world disappears, and you can just be sitting on your fishing chair or whatever, standing talking to your mate about bullshit, and real life stuff just disappears. Then when you get back home, it's back to reality then.
Yeah, no, that's it. Like, and it's amazing, like how many different things are for different people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I tried fishing, and I can't stand the fucking thing. Like, it was alright for the first couple of times, but then it just got fucking boring, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so I used to just go out on the fucking piss.
Yeah.
Go night clubbing, fucking just get into fucking fights, and I was happy then for a week.
That's what I would say. Yes, I've done that myself. Not that I'm proud of this one, but my 2 biggest addictions in my lifetime have been strip clubs and cocaine. That's not that I'm proud of it.
Living the highlight, like.
Well, working God knows how many hours a week, I get a little bit of time off, and it was just a way to blow off steam and forget about things. Wrong way to deal with it. Yeah. Would I change that part of my life? Honestly, I'd say no, because I had some pretty good times while I was going through that stage of my addictions.
Yeah.
Um,
How bad was you on cocaine?
Half ounce a day, easy.
No way. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Expensive then.
yeah, very expensive.
So you had to work all the hours just to pay for that.
Exactly. That's why I was living in my car. No rent. Yeah, it got really bad. It started off with ecstasies, and then you go out and you take 14, 15 ecstasies on a Saturday night, and then you find yourself doing them on a Wednesday just because. And I thought, no, I just can't be doing that. So I dropped them on the edge, and I found love in cocaine. It was, I'd say, cocaine was my first true love, which is crazy to say, but that's what I found love in.
I suppose because it helped you deal with it.
Oh yeah, as long as I was off my nut, whether it be off my nut on drugs, cocaine, whether I was pissed up, I was forgetting about the real world, and I was just numb within myself, and that's what I wanted. I just wanted to be numb. Painkillers happened by accident. My addiction for them. Tried to take my life with painkillers many a times, but it never really worked. I got addicted to them, and I found then if I just take so many, it just makes me numb. And obviously, then that's what I wanted. I just want to be numb from everything.
Yeah. So is the painkillers replaced the cocaine then, or?
Yes and no. Obviously, with cocaine, I can take it or leave it. It's always been the same. I've never been. Obviously, it was an addiction. Half ounce a day. But I could take it or leave it. But with painkillers, it's a totally different addiction. I can go 4 days without painkillers. Then I need painkillers.
Yeah.
With cocaine, I never needed it. It was more wanting it.
Yeah.
And enjoying it. So yeah, the painkillers, I wouldn't say have replaced it. It's just an extra addiction to make me feel numb.
Yeah. So like, from looking back from then to looking at yourself now, how far have you come, would you say?
So I've come a long way, even though no, I still drink quite a lot, actually. I drink pretty much every day. So I can have about 3-4 days off a year. But even though I've still got my addictions and problems now, but from where I was back then, where I didn't care about my life, I wanted to die. I didn't want to live anymore. Which brings me to the last time. Did I mention this in the last live? I tried to gas myself in the car.
I know you mentioned it to myself. I can't remember if you mentioned it in the live.
Yeah, I'd finished work and I'd gone to park up and I was feeling shitty. And I knew that day was the day it was going to end. I don't know what clicked in my brain. But yeah, sat in the car, I was smoking a joint. Had a hose pipe from the exhaust into the window, gaff tipped the window up. Luckily for me, someone was walking the dog and pulled me out of the car. But to me, that day was it. That was me checking out. And that's the last time I've ever tried to take my own life.
Do you think it was more of a wake-up call then by him pulling you out?
Oh, absolutely. he gave me a few slaps as well.
Did he,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, looking back now, I'm glad it went the way it did, because now I've got something to fight for, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I'm at a point now where I'm starting to enjoy my life. You know, things are going well. I've got a relationship now. I've got a great support network around me now. Something that I've never had outside of my mum and my gran. So it's just trying to learn how to accept it more than anything.
Got a lot of positives now.
Oh, I've got so many positives in my life at the minute, and I've got so many positives to look forward to as well. So yeah, it's all going good. It's just fine tuning a little bits now.
And they all come in time.
Oh, absolutely.
Like what Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, it's because I wasn't working on it then. See?
No, but what I mean is, like, you, with a healing process, you can't rush into it.
No, you can't. It's like you said to me on the last live. Do you find the painkillers and drinking a problem? And absolutely, it is. It's not normal, but for me at the moment, if I concentrate on my mental health side of things, then the drinking and painkillers will not sort of sort itself out, but I can deal with them at a later date. Yeah. I can't put too much of myself at the moment, otherwise I'll just get flustered and I'll end up going back and back and back.
And this is it, like, I mean, like you see some people going like cold turkey or rushing the process, and they make themselves either ill or they make themselves even worse than they first was, and it's only because and like, fair enough, like they can see a goal and that they want to reach that goal, but it comes with a fucking price.
Oh yeah, it does. With what I've been through, my life has come with a heavy price, and the biggest price I'd say, aside mental health, would be addiction, and that's a heavy price to pay. But it's made me who I am today. Would I change any of it? Maybe some little bits along the way, but if I changed it all, then I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't change who I am now anyway.
Yeah.
So,
no, at the end of the day, you're a top fucking bloke, like, I mean, and it's just a pity the social services work the way they fucking do, and try and grind you down and feel like you're fucking useless.
Oh, it's absolutely, and hopefully this will land on Emilo's desk somewhere. And I'd like to say I'm coming for your job.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I'm coming for your job.
Never stop fighting it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter how long it fucking takes you.
No. I will be coming for your job. Yeah. And I've since the final court case, I've always said I'm taking your job.
Yeah. And that's the best thing to keep in your fucking mind, I think.
No, exactly.
It gives you that goal, like.
Yeah, but once I'm, all better or mended or whatever you want to call it, I'm still going to do what I do, because I love doing it. I don't know what it is. It's just it's awoken a passion in me, and I wouldn't change it.
No. Yeah. So just mad, like, you know.
Yeah.
When you like try and work it out, like, you've got to go through something so shitty to be the person you are now. Like.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like I said, I wouldn't change who I am now.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Absolutely not. So if you've got any more questions?
On the top of my head, I can't. Have you got any questions, Katie?
I knew that was muted. Not really, to be honest. So you're a father of forced adoption?
Yes, it was my second child, so my youngest daughter. I got 3 children also.
I could have guessed it was going to be your youngest one. And pre-ordered?
Pre-ordered, yeah, during pregnancy.
Yeah, my daughter was the exact same, so we've got a lot in common.
Yes, not that I was there, but after my daughter was born, Emma Lowe, the cunt of a woman what she is, turned up at the hospital off duty to say that she was taking my daughter.
Yeah, that's a common tactic. So I was lucky enough just to get home from the hospital. It took them 7 months to get my daughter, but a lot of people, they're getting taken from the hospital.
4 days old she was when she was taken. So
I think the quickest one we've come across is 6 hours old, where social workers have taken, but it's looking ridiculous. They should never be taken anyway. And they do play parents off against each other as well while they're doing it, because it's just typical bullshit that they do to get what they want.
I mean, when obviously me and Miss X got back together and we were going through a contact centre, I think only on the final contact, the goodbye contact, was the only time we seen her together as parents. And they refused it.
Sickening what they're doing, how they get away with it.
Yeah, I was only allowed to see her, I think, 6 times in total, I believe, if I remember rightly. So 6 times. Yeah.
No, it's not. I've not really got any questions for you. You've covered a lot of stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to get you back on at some point as well.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'm getting used to doing all this now.
You'll get used to it pretty fast with us anyway. I'm a nightmare for getting people on the live, he'll tell you.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'll leave you two to finish up.
Yeah, all right, no worries. Cheers, love. Yeah, so it was your birthday yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, you bastard.
Should I say how old you are?
21. No, 36. Bastard.
I had to get that bit in. No, so we're gonna have a drink. We're gonna have a bit of a party fucking.
Yeah, you're gonna sing happy birthday to me?
No, I might put it on the tune.
Sorry, you bastard.
Right, but thank you for everyone tuning in. Cheers for tonight again, bro.
Yeah, no worries, anytime.
And hopefully stay safe, and we'll see you all soon. Good night.